Hi folks, it's Andy, the Expedition Hiker, and this week's video, well, I filmed it about a year ago and I had problems with the audio. Now I've tried to clean it up as much as possible, and I did think, shall I bring the video out? And yes, I've decided I have to, because what I found, as the title of the video points out, an interesting walk it was, but if you can bear with the noise on this particular one, the microphone has been sorted out since then. It's well worth the watch. I also like to say thank you, because I've just reached 1,500 subscribers. I've also reached 100,000 views on YouTube. Things are slightly getting better. So with that, I'd like to say, please click the like, because it seems to do my channel a lot more good now. So with that, let's get to the video. An interesting walk. That's not very straight. It's a bit like what we always saw in Sutton Bonington, probably built by blind men. So this is the Church of St Mary's and All Saints in the centre of Bingham. So there's an old door to the tower, and a bit of a small door, something about 5 feet high. The key lock is almost as big. I presume it's where the campologists go, the bell ringers. And on the opposite side, we've got a bit of a modern shed in the graveyard. This area doesn't look much today, but back in the medieval times, it was a bustling village called Bingham. The main street was Crow Lane, which I think is this path in the middle of the field. It is believed that this is the first deserted medieval village in England. Not far from here is the Fosse Way, where the Roman settlement Marjorie Dinham once stood, a scheduled ancient monument, as a hill fort that the king of the Coritane tribe occupied before the Roman period. But this site is now also an ancient monument, so although houses surround the field as it developed into the market town of Bingham, nothing will be built on the site for years to come. Bingham acquired a markets charter in 1341. This happened in medieval times through Europe's settlements and was a right to hold markets, which this was different to larger towns and cities, hence why Bingham is known as the market town today. As for notable people from Bingham, well, if you like your cricket, 7 first-class cricketers were born in Bingham between 1820 and 1966, and Harry Churchill Beat, who was awarded the Victoria Cross, was from Bingham as well. Right, so we've just left the village of Bingham, and we're heading up Parsons Hill now, and we're heading towards an old Roman village. Now hopefully you're going to be able to hear me today, because it's a bit breezy. So to you and I, this looks like a normal field with a bit of crop land on it. But actually, it's used to hold a Roman town. So the town was called Margidina. The Roman fort of Margidina. The road that we can just about see in the background where the tree line is, called the Foss Way, where we're headed to in a moment. We're by the edge of Castle Hill, which is just beyond me, although where we are at the moment is quite flat, so not much of a hill. Well, it's still a bit breezy, as you can probably tell from my hair blowing all over the shop. Today we're doing about 9.5, 10 miles. Anyway, we're heading up to Foss Way now, the old Roman road, which is also now a busy road. I think it's the A46. This stretch is part of the old Roman road. Like most Roman roads, they are straight. We're going to head off this footpath and head towards East Bridgeford. I've had enough of this noisy road. So we're just following the footpath alongside East Bridgeford. We're heading down towards the rear of the village, and then we're heading towards the cliff top of the River Trent. We'll just walk alongside it for a little while towards Gunthorpe Bridge. So this, as it mentions, is Welcome to Cedar Vale, but it's actually the manor house of East Bridgeford. So we're going to have a quick glimpse to see what it looks like. And by the looks of it, quite a large building. So looking down from the cliff edge, we can see the River Trent. The water's very calming. If it's the sea or a river or even just a lake, it's nice to walk alongside water. So we're actually next to a weir. You can just about see the white water here. Just in the gap there you can see Gunthorpe Lock. Now the cliff is a bit steeper now, so this is about as close as I can get to the edge without actually falling to my death. So I think we'll stick at this point. Hopefully the wind's not going to gust and push me over. So you can see the weir here. And just in the background, just beyond those boats, you can just about make out Gunthorpe Bridge, which was also a Roman crossing. Well, this area was actually, Gunthorpe was a Roman port, used the resources to carry their supplies upriver to obviously build things like the Roman fort, Mangidulum. I don't know. I'll say it 50,000 times, I still won't get it right. Anyway, let's continue along this path. So we want to get up to Newton. Just as we walk into East Bridgeford, just notice on this on the right, we've got a horse trough. An old horse trough. But we're walking, as I mentioned, back into the village. And again, we can see some of the older buildings. In a moment, we're going to turn right and we'll head down until we get towards the Trent Valley Way. You can see in front is one of the disused windmills, possibly Stokes Mill. One of them is a private residence. I think the other one is more a ruin. We'll come across that later as we're walking along the Trent Valley Way. It's been noted that East Bridgeford is one of Britain's best kept villages. And it does look quite quaint wandering through streets. Some lovely buildings around, and it looks quite tidy place, as if the local community look after it. So just noticing this ring against the wall. Now in the past, those rings used to be for tying your cow or horse to. And if you see one in like a village square like that, it's usually a bit heftier ring. You used to tie your bull to it. So if you were taking your bull for a walk, or your cow or horse, and you needed a little break, you could tie it up to that ring. A quaint little church, but on the opposite hand, interesting that it's got a portaloo in the corner. Is that in case the guests of the graveyard like to take a toilet break at night time? I'm not sure.
Most of the land of the parish belongs to Magdalen College in Oxford, after the Bishop of Winchester, who founded the college, once owned these parish lands. Colonel Hacker was born here. He escorted King Charles to the beheading for his high treason after the English Civil War back in 1649. Afterwards, Hacker was treated as a traitor, where his estates were then confiscated. The Dovecote House, or also known as the Mud House, due to it's made of wattle and daub, an earlier construction material. And we can see Stokes windmill. So this is Kirk Hill, but by the side of us is East Bridgeford Street, and East Bridgeford Street was a throughway for the Romans. For at the bottom of the hill is the River Trent, and there used to be a ford when I presume the river wasn't as strong as it is today. So there was a ford crossing for the Romans before they built a bridge, and then they would travel up this street all the way up to the Roman town that we've passed earlier today. So just after crossing another busy road, fortunately we're away from them. We're into the woods now, and this is the Trent Valley Way. So the Trent Valley Way is a 77-mile route. I think it's 131 kilometres, maybe slightly wrong on that. It starts near the River Humber, just slightly inland from there, and heads along the course of the Trent Valley, and which is mainly following the River Trent. And then it follows all the way down to Long Eaton in Nottinghamshire. I noticed this guy walking across the field, and I thought, well, how come I didn't see him a moment ago when I was walking across? I think he's got a shotgun in his right hand. I don't know where he's wandering off to. Probably going to shoot something. Probably amongst those trees. Anyway, some funny-haired folk about. There's those, and there's people that also talk to a camera as they walk across the fields. There's some funny-haired folk, they are. We can just see in front of us green buildings on the horizon line. There are a couple of old aircraft hangars, so some of these buildings are still standing, which is good because that means that we can probably get to see some of the abandoned buildings. They haven't been knocked down yet, but I'm sure they will do soon enough as the development continues. And then just on our right, well, just in front of us, is the second mill of East Bridgeford. Obviously not looking as good as the other windmill. Obviously people are living in that one. I don't think many people are living in this one. You're looking at the ruins of the windmill straight in front. Now we can just see right in the background is the other windmill, the one that is still in, well, as a resident in East Bridgeford. And we're just going to walk down here a bit further, and we should be able to pick up onto the footpath, which will hopefully get us up to RAF Newton. But our footpath that we're going to is directly in front, and as I mentioned before, the hangars are just beyond there. Now when it does get up to the next footpath point, I'm aiming to turn right if possible. There's some buildings I'd like to see, but there's the footpath goes left, so we'll see what we can do. So we've just reached the green fence, problem being there's a lot of barbed wire around it, but I would like to go into this if there's an entrance in here, because there is something interesting to see. So these are, well, in a way they're like decoy bunkers. So as you can see, stacks of bunkers here, all overgrown. Not much we can see from this one. See if we can get down here a little bit. But Looks like there's an entrance way here, but it looks very heavy overgrown, so I'm not sure if we can get in there. Does that look normal? The door? Like concrete. But if you look at it in a little bit more detail, are we starting to notice where something doesn't look right? Because there's a door frame, there's actual proper metal. If you look at the doors, that is concrete, so they're not actually doors. They're made to look like doors, and I believe they're all the same. I'll continue down here. The Vickers Wellington bombers, twin engine bombers, flew from here, going over to Germany in this direction. So this one's a better example of, like I said, I mean, it's even got lighting above it. That's electricity going in, so there is something beyond these, but these aren't the official entrances into it. So we've got the hinges, metal hinges, 3 on either side. We've got padlocks, so they even put padlocks on it. There was one runway where they used to do inflatable vehicles and inflatable planes as a decoy. And here's another entrance I could have gone in from. It's a bit bigger, it's the actual proper entranceway. And this is walking down another avenue. So in overall there's probably 4, 8, 12, 16, 32, looking around 40-ish, 40 of these like decoy type bunkers. Well, it can't be decoys, I mean, as I say, in fact actually thinking about it, that's more the reason, more of a possibility of a decoy doors and everything else. Concrete bunkers, got no entrances, so they don't want you getting in there, so they're hidden away some sort of maybe chemical, irradium. So on that point, thinking about it, maybe this is an area I should keep move away from if it's leaking out. Radium, I think that might be what's within those bunkers. So let's hopefully I didn't breathe moisture in. Should have worn my face mask, my COVID face mask, that would have saved the day. As I mentioned earlier, I am not walking on the footpath. I'm not telling you to come this way. I'm sort of like, as I said before, I'm recording history. These could be knocked down in a few months' time or a year time. Although if it's full of chemicals, probably not. If it is radium in here, you would have thought they would have skilled it a bit better than this. I'd stick to the footpath, I suggest, which was to turn left. As we went past Mill Farm, RAF police dogs on patrol. Obviously not anymore as it's abandoned, but I'm sure they secure it in some way. And if they don't, I'm highly surprised. I've just come down this pathway. First of all I thought they were just some more bunkers, but notice it's like little alleyways, so it's just weird. There's just these concrete structures. I mean, they do look like a rifle discharge area, so you would clear your weapons in an area like this, but usually you have one area like it, not several of them. So I'm quite puzzled. I've been to a few military bases in my time. Obviously I was in the army, but I've been to RAF and Navy bases in the past as well, and never seen anything like this. So reaching this one a little bit closer, we can see it's basically a pillbox, machine gun post, reinforced concrete at the top. So we shove a machine gun out of that post. You can actually also see an iron piping, so you would have probably mounted your something like a GMP, general purpose machine gun. So it's an old pillbox post. So hopefully you're enjoying this walk. It's been an interesting one as usual, and this one I could even get some long-term effects. I may turn green, fluorescent green after this. We've been hanging around with some of this radium. Let's hope not. Apart from the gliders and the university using this area, I don't think an actual aircraft is flown from here as a military bomber or anything like that for over 30 or 40 years. The Army Air Corps used it until the year 2000. This place has had a mixture of uses over the past. Obviously a lot of it has been military, as in RAF and the Army Air Corps, and then was used briefly as an immigration detention centre. As you can see, the hangars in front of us now. I think the white building is the control centre, as it says RAF Newton on it. Then here, I know what this will be. This area is where the old kennels may have been. And they have the RAF police here, so the RAF police dogs. Oh, got sheep running at me. I don't know what I've done. Are these all radioactive sheep? They're all running towards me. Oh. Well, there's a little fence in between me. Oh God, some of them sheep are quite big. I think the possibility the radium's got to them. Attacked by the killer sheep. Or do you just want to be on YouTube? Go on then, follow me. Walkies! Oh, little lambs there. Walkies! Now I know of another building similar to that, and that is Fallout Centre, nuclear bunker. Right, so now we're moving away from the airbase, abandoned or not. Interesting to know. Seems to be more activity happening now than there was 20 years ago, and we're heading back towards Bingham. So it's all become a bit puzzling. What is going off at this airfield? Why can't you film the hangars that are abandoned and, from what I gather, close to being knocked down? And why are the hangars still there, seeing as 20 years on? They're quite large for a couple of glider planes, the University OTC or whatever it is. On top of that, the bunkers that we found. Why have they got no entrances? Why is the dummy entrance made of concrete? Is it full? It's all a bit of a mystery, and let's hope that I didn't come across too much radium today, or I might spring another leg in the next few weeks, or another arm, who knows. Anyway, we're heading back towards the A46, the busy road, and then we'll cross over and then head back into the town of Bingham. So coming back to the A46, it's a bit busy, it's busier than it was earlier, so I've got to try and cross it somehow. Now I believe there's a footpath the actual other side of it, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get across to it, because there's no sort of like pedestrian crossing or anything. Right guys, we are heading back into Bingham, the market town with all its history, and there has been quite a lot of history today. With that saying, hopefully you've enjoyed this walk. If you haven't subscribed, then please do, especially if you like hiking, backpacking, or wild camping. So yes, it was interesting seeing those bunkers with the concrete doors but no other entrances, so they're hiding something. I'm going to say cheerio for now, so take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye hikers.